it really matters what your idea of successful is. Now, obviously, what we're preaching is being successful on mature bucks.
Yeah.
So if you're looking to be successful on mature bucks, not just deer, it's really key that you stay mobile, because those deer got that big by avoiding human contact. They do not go where they smell people have been, and your scent stays in an area for so long that they realize where your stands are.
Yep.
The majority of the time I'm hunting a spot I've already hunted by far, and I think all of us do. But when you look at my top deer, all the ones that are mature, which might be like maybe 15 or more, over 90% of those were the very first time I ever hunt the spot.
Mm-hmm.
And that's telling.
Yep.
And of the rest of them, most of them were the first time I hunted a spot for that year.
Mm-hmm.
So mobile is number one. You got to stay mobile. You got to keep moving around. You got to catch them off guard. Now, when I hunt private land, I've got that 70 acres by Dave's, right? I rotate through the stands, right? The stands that we put up and left there are in key positions. They're in funnels. They're in positions where the deer have to move. And 90% of the time, if you see a deer, it walks right underneath you. However, when we kill mature bucks, it's generally on an aggressive move. We move to them because they're moving around without going by those trees.
Yep.
And you got tree stands and all the little funnels, and you watch a mature buck go through there and walk on its tracks in the snow, and watch how it doesn't go by one of those trees you got to stand in. They learn you. They pattern you like you're patterning them. So mobile is number one.
Yep. And before you go on to your number two here, I was going to say something about that. I recently had someone ask me about they're getting back into hunting, and they were asking me about bows. They wanted to buy a bow, and they were going to spend $1,500 on a bow setup. That's about as that's just what you're going to spend on one anymore. If you're going to buy a new one. But I was like, man, if I were you, I'd go buy a used bow for $500 and buy a beast stand and sticks. That's how your your money. If you got so much money to spend to get started deer hunting, like if you can get a good mobile setup, you're off to a good start. But it seems like people want to buy this expensive bow, but then they have such a hard time grasping that I have to spend $1,000 on a nice stand and sticks.
Right, they don't get it. I mean, we're going through the
Yeah.
same process you go through to make a bow, to make a stand.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, it's not even that. It's just
advanced.
I don't think people realize how important of a tool that is.
Yeah,
like
they don't.
It is.
And I mean, literally, you can explain it to your blue in the face, but until a guy uses it and sees what he can do with it,
Yeah.
and how he can hang it and what kind of trees he can get it in and stuff, they don't understand. You would never understand it until you actually used it.
Yeah, and even and we all used, like back in the day, the old Lone Wolf Assault. That stand was the best in the business for a lot of people still have that thing. But man, it's just like the difference between the beast stand and that, it's like so night and day. And if people could just, I wish there was a way everybody could try.
The owner of that stand, I worked for them. If you didn't know that, I fought tooth and nail to try and get that guy to sell that as a mobile setup.
Yeah,
and he said it was stupid. Nobody would buy it as a mobile setup. Now look what he's doing. He's selling mobile setups now that I am.
Yeah. Right.
But they wouldn't grasp that. They're like, oh, we want people to buy 10 of these and put them all over their farm. It's like, yeah, but you got 10 million people that have to hunt public land,
Right.
But yeah, mobile setup is the key, and the lightweight kind of thing. I wasn't trying to toot my own horn there. I wasn't even thinking about my stands when I said that. I'm serious.
No, I
needs to be mobile no matter what he does. If you want to sit in the saddle, or if you want to sit in a stand, or you want to hunt off the ground, whatever it is, you need to be mobile.
Yep. And a lot of people don't have $1,000 to spend on a stand, and that's completely understandable. So those are good. There's other options out there, but get something that's mobile for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, sorry. I wanted to say that because some people the sticker price of mobile stuff is shocking to people, but
yeah, but it's by once. I mean, it's not like you're leaving it out and somebody's going to steal it. I wouldn't leave it out in the woods. I'd take it in and out with you.
Yeah, it's not a ladder stander. Yeah.
Right.
All right, go ahead. Number two.
So number two, I would say, is overlooked spots. You have to hunt where people don't hunt, where people don't go, where people don't think of going, but still has deer habitat. Now I've said this till I'm blue in the face, so most of the regulars already know this, but a lot of my biggest bucks were shot right alongside the road, right next to a parking lot, because nobody hunts there. So guys go in, they follow the trail back, and some go in a little ways, some go in a long ways, but nobody goes and parks at a parking lot and walks along the road 100 yards and hunts 100 yards down from the parking lot alongside the road. That's the void area where nobody's hunting. That, or you get real remote. Maybe you have to cross water. Maybe you have to, like when I hunt down by you in Indiana in the hills, I think the key is to go back a mile or so and get back past where other people want to walk. Down by me, it seems like my properties are small enough that people get to every degree in it, and you got to find the stuff that's right next to the road in a lot of cases. And number 3, I would say, in a lot of cases, in a lot of your lowland areas, not your hill country, but your lowland areas, bedding isolated by water is some of the key to get on the biggest bucks. Like where I live, in southeastern Wisconsin, the majority of your biggest bucks are in swamps and marshes around here. And the reason is people can't kill every deer. They can't drive all that water and stuff like that. And those deer will live out in cattails in water, just on little high spots, little islands of brush, little points that go out into there where they have a good escape route. And if they can get isolated by water, that's one of your key places. I mean, there's a lot of spots where people very, very rarely go. I mean, how often do you watch one of my videos where I'm walking through one of them swamps, and you just look down and there's a big dead buck that's been there for years. You just pick up the head and carry it out with you, because people don't go there. So there's your top 3. Off the top of my head, maybe I'll change that if I have time enough to think about it, but that's what I think would be the top 3.
Yep. No, I would agree with those for sure. Something else that, like, for new hunters is, like, don't get too involved in the marketing hype of this and that. And I mean, some of the stuff people end up buying when they first start hunting is just unbelievable. It's like, man,
you kind of hit it on the head in the beginning. I agree with that. I see a lot of young guys that are just getting into hunting, not even necessarily young, but just getting into hunting, that spend a freaking ton of money.
Oh man.
And then wonder why they're not getting deer. It's not about money. It's not about buying them. You want to spend money to kill deer? Go to a game ranch or lease a farm.
Yeah.
That's where the money would be spent well, if that's what your goal is. If you are looking to deer hunt, all you really need is a weapon, and it doesn't have to be elaborate, it just has to work. You have to be able to hit your target. And you don't even need camouflage. You can just wear flannels or whatever. Just blend in. You don't even have to have a stand. And if you get a stand, a cheaper one. Now, all those little items that we use just give us a little bit of an advantage. You don't have to have that stuff.
Hey everybody, if you like the channel, make sure you subscribe right here. And if you like the clips, I got 2 more options for you. 2 options right here. Subscribe right here. See you guys.